Iran continues to defy UN Security Council demands to scrap its uranium enrichment program, but CBS News has learned of secret efforts to delay the country's nuclear agenda. Sheila MacVicar asked Mark Fitzpatrick of the International Institute for Strategic Studies how that might affect Iran's nuclear ambitions.
How would you describe the current state of the Iranian nuclear program?
I think Iran is moving as fast as it can to put in place as large of a uranium enrichment apparatus as it can. I don't know whether it will have all it needs or wants to establish the large industrial scale facility that it is aiming for, but it looks like that by July Iran will have in place some 3,000 centrifuges. They won't be operating, they certainly won't be operating efficiently, they won't be connected all together, but with 3,000 in place, they would be in a stronger bargaining position, they believe. There are many ways of looking at how soon Iran could develop a nuclear weapon. Most analysts would look at what is the worst case. If everything went well for Iran, how soon could they produce a nuclear weapon? We judge that the earliest possible would be 2009, 2010. Now, the fact that Iran is moving ahead to have 3,000 centrifuges in place reinforces this worst case assumption about how fast they could do it. But there's still a lot of questions about when and how soon they will overcome the technical difficulties.
Given that Iran has said that it wants to have 3,000 centrifuges in place, and assuming that it has the capacity to in fact make and install 3,000 centrifuges, can its program grow beyond that?
I think Iran will face a real resource constraint in getting much beyond 3,000 centrifuges. The IEA was saying a couple of years ago that Iran probably had the components for about 5,000 centrifuges, but many of these were no good. They didn't have good quality control. So, and the question is, could Iran build more components than these 5,000? I think they have some serious constraints in raw materials. Iran is not totally self-sufficient in the production of some materials, such as maraging steel, high strength steel that only a few industrialized countries produce. There may be some other components such as the ring magnets that are crucial for centrifuges that Iran has in short supply.
When you say that Iran has an extensive black market network, how much do you know about that network? How much do governments know about that network?
Well, governments have been very diligently focusing on Iran's procurement efforts. Now, these are clandestine efforts. Iran frequently changes its front companies, frequently changes its financial arrangements, and government intelligence agencies have been looking at this. And this is one of the major ways in which governments try to keep tabs on Iran's program.
It's been suggested by one government which has an interest in the Iranian program that there is an active sabotage program that has been in operation, which the Iranians appear to have become aware of. How likely is it that there is some kind of sabotage program in place, and how likely is it that the Iranians know of it?
I think that sabotage is one of the obvious options that states have to try to slow down and impede Iran's program. I would be very surprised if nations were not attempting some kind of sabotage. Industrial sabotage is a way to stop the program without military action, without fingerprints on the operation. And really, it's ideal if it works.
But given the nature of its procurement network, black market, dealing with front companies, perhaps having to do with middlemen, going through various ways to try to acquire the necessary components for this part, it would seem to me that that would be an ideal situation for intelligence-inspired sabotage.
One way to sabotage a program is to make some minor modifications in some of the components that Iran obtains on the black market. And because it's a black market and you don't know exactly who you're dealing with, this would be one logical way that intelligence agencies would seek to try to sabotage the program if, in fact, that's what they were trying to do.